Chapter 50, our anti-penultimate chapter, in which Salazar escapes, returns triumphant to the symphony, and they realise the new normal. They're all stuck together, whether they like it or not, on the symphony, along with a little cutaway to the MateBots repairing themselves and bringing themselves back online. This chapter took much longer to write than I expected it would. Thank goodness for scenes. I do find I'm still finding breaking things up into these bite-sized chunks really helps. I do have a sense now of tying up all of the ends and bringing it all to a conclusion, and a neat conclusion which perhaps also plants seeds for potential further adventures with this group of people. Not super confident about the exchanges at the end between Salazar and Diana. In one of the many ambitious things that I've tried to do in this whole project, I wanted to make my main characters a little three-dimensional, if I could, a little more complicated, but I don't think the inner workings and the internal life and the emotional lives of them is really my strength. I can get better at that, but I feel much more comfortable and much more self-assured when I'm writing dialogue or action sequences, I guess, or gags, or tongue-in-cheek sort of humour. These are my sort of comfort zones. So yeah, complicated, serious, emotional relationships is something that I need to work at, and I will work on in the Great Big Edit after this. It also occurs to me in this chapter, as all the characters are milling around, there's a handful of pirates left at the end of our story, but gee whiz, there's a lot of symphony crew members, aren't there? And I'm not sure that it's clear that you know who they each are and their specific roles, and even if they are, that many of them are necessary. So that will happen in the Great Big Edit. I'll go through, because I suspect I've got too many characters there, which can be, some of them can probably be condensed down into one or two characters and still get the narrative job done. My original plan with this novel was to have 52 chapters, one per week, with the first chapter coming out on my birthday and the last chapter coming out on my birthday. The weeks haven't quite worked out that way this year, to do with the leap year and stuff, I think. So then I thought I would do 52 chapters and then an epilogue, and then on the 15th, I think. Chapter 52 was going to be on the 8th of May, epilogue on the 15th of May, and then a little reflection on the 17th of May, which would be the actual birthday. It's looking now like there might not be enough story left for an epilogue, so that might fall by the wayside. I've still got, obviously, chapter 51 and chapter 52. Chapter 51 next week will be a short one, and chapter 52 will be whatever length it needs to be to tell the very final moments of the story. We are still very much in the midst of coronavirus. I'm recording this on Good Friday, April the 10th, so chapter 48 came out this afternoon. Last video diary entry I did was on the 28th of March, a couple of weeks ago, so yeah, this chapter has taken more than a week to write. Everything's moving a bit slower now that we're in lockdown and it's school holidays and Lily's home, and the pervading air of uncertainty tends to be a bit fatiguing. But yes, when I last did one of these video diaries 2 weeks ago, there were 557,000 cases in the world. As of today, there are 1.5 million cases of coronavirus in the world. And 2 weeks ago, here in Australia, there were 3,635. Today, there are 6,103. 2 weeks ago, there were 685 cases in Victoria, my home state here. Today, 2 weeks later, there are 1,228 cases. So it is very virulent and spreads rapidly. Everybody's self-isolating and staying at home. Most businesses have been closed. I'm very lucky in that my job, working on a weekly news satire show, has been deemed an essential service, thank goodness. So for the next couple of weeks I still get to go to work and do that. Yeah, I was asked to be involved in a stay-at-home public service announcement video, which I did, and there's a little link to that in the description of this chapter, in case you're interested in having a look. But it's the one news story all over the planet. It just dominates everything and everybody's minds, and if there's a news story that's not about coronavirus itself, it's about how coronavirus affects other things. So we're living in very uncertain times, and most people have been self-isolating for quite a while now, a few weeks now, and they're saying we'd better get used to it. It's going to be a little while longer, perhaps months. But having said that, it seems to be working here in Australia. America is now the epicentre of the disease in the world. I think what we are doing seems to be having an effect, so fingers crossed it'll continue along that path. Alright, I'll see you next week for chapter 51, the second last chapter. Thank you for sticking with me this far. Stay safe. Stay safe? Stay safe and stay home. Stay safe and stay home.